Welcome back. Now, if there's one thing Democrats love, it's regulation, but laws, not so much. Well, depending on the law, of course. Gun laws are near and dear, but immigration laws to be laughed at, sure. But what does it take to push an agenda? Well, let's find out. Join me now, Gulf South Strategy senior partner and author of Laws and Sausage, Brian Trascher. Brian, thanks for being with me.
Thanks so much for having me. I enjoy doing TV. I have more of a radio face, but
I don't think so. We both got our green on. We're already getting ready for St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely.
You know, from that Catholic-dominated country of Ireland. Again,
absolutely. Catholic-dominated city of New Orleans, where I'm from.
Well,
we don't need an excuse to have a party, but we have a big one on Friday.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. Well, I'm excited for you. But first, I want to talk about your new book. It's just out. I saw the date on there, February 13th, it looked like. So you're about a month in. So tell me, what inspired you to write it, and what can we learn if we read it?
So, you know, for years, people kind of didn't exactly know what a lobbyist was or what they did, or they may have a general perception of what it is. But
negative perception, usually.
Probably so, yeah. It's kind of a four-letter word for most folks. But, you know, I got so tired of being asked what I did that I just decided to kind of brain dump it into a book. But it just kind of came at a good time when I was noticing that all these folks are out protesting in the streets. And some of them are sincere, you know, like peaceful protesters. Most of them, as you know, are just kind of anarchists that are out there just to cause trouble. But the one thing they all have in common is that they're not accomplishing anything.
Right.
The only way to take down the system is from the inside. And Laws and Sausage goes through a lot of different tips and tricks on how anyone, regardless of their background, regardless of their education, can affect the public policy process from the local, state, and federal level.
Right. Well, that makes some of us kind of nervous. That's what our biggest fear for some of us is that lobbyists are able to get in there, they're able to push an agenda, and then we're going to get some law that the American people, by and large, don't really like, but that the lobbyists like and that the Congress likes. But I want to go inside. I want to talk about it. You said that some people can't afford a lobbyist. Some people can't afford someone to actually lobby for their cause, but there's a grassroots effort that's better than protesting with an F Trump sign. There are other ways for grassroots individuals who can't afford a lobbyist, that can't really afford to make a collective, that can help push an agenda. So how do they do that? So
that's exactly what the book was geared toward, was the person that is kind of the one-man show, going out there trying to pitch a certain cause or effectuate change. I mean, that's what most people that get in, or they're protesting or they go into the halls of government, is because they want to change something. So this just kind of shows you little things like how to identify which body of jurisdiction that is going to be overseeing the change you want to make. Mm-hmm. Approaching lawmakers, how to properly schedule appointments with them, how to deal with staff, how to watch the process go through the sausage maker. I mean, that's kind of why I titled the book the way it was. You never want to see laws or sausage get made. It's not palatable.
So if you're just an average civilian, you have a cause, maybe there's a few of you that have a cause, a small group, maybe. But I know that the common thought is, hey, I'm just an individual, or we're just a small group. We don't have the name recognition. If I go try to make an appointment with my representative, they're probably going to laugh me off. They're going to give me to a secretary. I've worked for a congresswoman before. I know that interns usually get those requests, like so-and-so wants to meet with you, and they go, I don't have time for this. So if you don't have a big name, you don't have a big organization, is it still possible?
Oh, it's absolutely possible. What it is, if you don't live in the district of the lawmaker that you're trying to see, you bring somebody who does. Or, and as I say in the book, you get someone from that district. The more well-known, the better, if possible. But at least someone who lives in the district, registered to vote there, to write a letter for you to bring with you and say, hey, look, this does affect your district. Mm-hmm. Because the only thing that they care about more than raising money so they can get reelected is making sure that they take care of the people in their district. I mean, like I say in the book, you can't expect a guy from Iowa to care about coastal restoration in Louisiana any more than you can expect a guy from Louisiana to care about ethanol subsidies. I mean, it's all politics is local, like Tip O'Neill said.
No, very, very true. Does it take a lot of money, though? Because I know that's another, common perception of this process, is that you have to have a lot of dollars behind you.
You know, it makes it easier. I mean, it's a lot of people's CEOs and big companies and organizations, their government affairs program is just to write checks to campaign accounts. You don't have to. You can start at the local level. All congressmen and senators have district offices, so you may have to get out and drive a little bit. You have to, wait till they're home, but you don't necessarily have to be flying back and forth to D.C. or driving to your state capital. You can meet with people in their local offices. And again, sometimes it's more intimate that way when you come to see them outside of the halls of government.
Yeah. Now, again, this is taking a look at really how the sausage is being made, and so I want to get your honest take on this. You've worked with a lot of politicians. You spent a lot of time with them. You've lobbied with them. Now, I know there's a perception right now, especially brought on really by our President Trump, that politicians are not to be trusted, that they are at the hands of the lobbyists, and that the lobbyists really control them, pull the puppet strings. Now, I know you had a lot of interactions with them. How trustworthy do you find most politicians?
Well, I think they're mostly like diapers. They should be changed often, usually for the same reason. The thing about lawmakers is that most of them get into that business because they really want to do better for their community, for their district. But you know how D.C. is. A lot of them kind of get corrupted. They get caught up in the cocktail circuit. They want to become media darlings. You know, I think that for the most part, they can be trusted. Obviously, it's easy to tell the ones that aren't. But at the end of the day, they're human beings, and they have jobs to do. They have people to answer to. So, you know, I think they get a bad rap. But ultimately, I think it's okay.
Yeah, well, you know, it just depends on the person, and we all hope that those that go in will continue to remember their constituents, will go in with, you know, a clean spirit, clean heart, good intentions. But your book, though, I really, truly, and not just for conservatives, for all those that are sitting out there and you're protesting with your F Trump signs, read this instead. It's so much more advantageous to your cause. But thanks for being with me, Brian.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Up next, last night, Rachel Maddow made a big league fool of herself, and oh yes, I have some final thoughts. That's next. We'll be right back.